Hello students! Tonight we continue our study of the cardiovascular system by discussing blood vessels. Blood vessels are the organs responsible for taking the blood pumped out by the heart and transporting it to every cell in every corner of our bodies. When blood moves throughout your body in the blood vessels, it moves in only one direction. Here's the order that blood moves through your blood vessels. From the heart, it moves into large arteries, which are pictured here. From there, the arteries carry the blood into tiny, highly branched capillaries, which you see here. These beds of branched capillaries are the areas where oxygen moves out of the blood and into the cells, as well as where carbon dioxide diffuses out of the cells and into the blood. From there, the now deoxygenated blood moves into the veins. These blood vessels take the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Okay, let's discuss each of these vessels in detail. First, we'll look at the arteries. Pictured here arteries are defined as blood vessels that carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Now, there is one exception to this rule, and I'll tell you about that in class tomorrow, but for every other vessel in the body that's called an artery, you'll find oxygenated blood moving away from the heart. Arteries are the largest of the blood vessels and can be distinguished from other vessels because of their thick, elastic walls, which are made of muscle and elastic tissue. The term elastic means stretchable, so like the waistband of gym shorts or a hair tie, if you stretch it, it can bounce back. Next, capillaries are the smallest of the blood vessels. The walls of capillaries are only one cell layer thick. This feature is really important to enable the capillaries to do their job of letting oxygen and nutrients diffuse out of the blood and into the cells, as well as enabling carbon dioxide and waste to move out of the cells and into the blood. In our picture over here, these tiniest vessels are the capillaries. Finally, the last of the blood vessels that I'm going to tell you about today are the veins. In this picture, this one represents a vein. You can see it's intermediate in size between the arteries and the capillaries. Okay, veins are defined as blood vessels that carry deoxygenated blood toward the heart. Again, there's one vein in the body that is an exception to this rule, but otherwise all veins carry deoxygenated blood going back to the heart. Veins are distinguishable from other blood vessels because inside of them there are one-way valves, which are shown here. Circle them here in the picture. So these valves, just like there are valves in between the chambers in your heart, there are also valves within the veins. And they do the same thing. Inside the veins, just like inside the heart, the valves help keep the blood moving in one direction. And this is particularly important in the veins because by the time blood gets to the veins, it is often slow moving and under low pressure. So, having these valves within the veins helps to keep the slow moving blood going forward in one direction, especially in the lower body where it is moving towards the heart against the force of gravity. All right, so that does it for our 3 types of blood vessels. We are going to end today by talking about cardiovascular disease. As you've seen, the cardiovascular system plays a vital role in keeping you alive and healthy. And so it's important to be aware of some of the diseases that can affect the cardiovascular system. The first cardiovascular disease we will discuss is atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a condition in which fatty deposits build up on arterial walls, making it more difficult for blood to flow. This is somewhat like what happens when a drain is clogged, and it prevents water from moving through the pipes in your house. When our blood vessels become blocked with fatty deposits, it prevents blood from being delivered to where it needs to go, which can damage cells and result in a stroke or heart attack, which can in fact be fatal. So if we look at our picture here, you can see in a normal healthy artery, blood should be able to flow easily and without resistance through the blood vessel. However, in this unhealthy artery that's been affected by atherosclerosis, you can see that we've got this buildup of plaque, which is fatty deposits, and it's impeding the flow of blood through this artery. If this buildup fully blocks off the artery, that's when a stroke or heart attack can occur. Okay, a second common cardiovascular disease is hypertension, which is high blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force on the blood vessel wall caused when the heart pumps. In healthy individuals, the stretchable elastic tissues in the arteries will stretch to accommodate the force of blood being pumped into them by the heart. So you see that here. Here's a normal blood vessel, and this two-sided arrow is showing you that as the blood is pumped into this vessel, it can actually stretch in diameter to accommodate the force of the blood being pumped into it. However, if your blood pressure is too high, it means your heart is working too hard. And if this is the case, your blood vessels can lose their elasticity from being stretched too frequently. In the same way, old gym shorts can lose their elasticity over time. Hypertension can lead to heart or kidney failure, which, like we saw with atherosclerosis, can result in death. Unfortunately, cardiovascular disease is fairly common among adults. The good news is that there's much we can do to prevent cardiovascular disease. The keys are eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and avoiding smoking. We'll discuss these habits tomorrow in class. Okay, we are done for tonight. Don't forget your Quizmodo, and I'll see you tomorrow.